cane, the return of the beard, and the return of the world champion celebrating at the Phillies' home. As we return one night later after a return to good health, the Freak makes a return to the mound. And he will welcome his newest friend, who makes a return to Philadelphia, but with a different look. One day closer to Sunday's Major League Baseball trade deadline, the Giants look a whole lot different. Carlos Beltran is in a San Francisco uniform. He'll bat third tonight, be in right field as the Phillies and the Giants get set to wrap up this three-game series. And the standings for best record in Major League Baseball, well, the Phillies 65-38, one game better than the Red Sox, and of course the Giants are in the mix, and a lot of folks feel like they're surging at just the right time. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, along with Gary Matthews. Wheels will be around in just a little bit. We'll talk about Carlos Beltran in just a few moments. But first, let's start with the starting pitcher for the Giants. Tim Lincecum was supposed to start Game 1. He was supposed to start Game 2, but he was sick. He's feeling better, and he is going to be out there for Game number 3.
Yeah, this is a legit number 1 again there. This Tim Lincecum. He's won the Cy Young twice. Take a look here at the highlights in the World Series in Game 5. You see exactly what I'm talking about. Guy comes over the top there, and not only that, he's an intimidator. He intimidates the hitters with a variety of different pitches there. He throws the ball hard. He uses his changeup, has a lot of confidence when he's out there on the mound. Now, take a look what he's done since 2008. You can see what I'm talking about, those 2 Cy Young Award winners. But look what I like there, those strikeouts, Tom. That gets the job done.
Yeah, last 3 years he's led the National League in strikeouts. Now, last year against the Phillies in the postseason, he appeared in 3 games. 2 as a starter, but then 1 game, and this is why you can term him a freak, 1 game out of the bullpen. Well, behind him, things will look a little different in right field because Carlos Beltran is wearing a Giants uniform, traded for Zach Wheeler, who was the number 1 pitching prospect for the Giants. He's a kid who throws 97 miles per hour. Sometimes, though, they say he doesn't know where it's going. He could one day be a major leaguer, but we already know that Carlos Beltran is indeed a major leaguer.
Yeah, well, this guy hits in the clutch. He was hit in the playoffs. That's exactly why the San Francisco Giants have actually gotten him. Now that his legs are healthy, he's as good as any hitter there in the league. 66 RBIs there so far this year, and that tells me this guy here is healthy.
All right, so he'll play every day as long as he's healthy in right field. Nate Shearholtz, who's played right field for the Giants, moves over to left field for Bruce Bochy. It is the final game of this 3-game series. Lincecum for the Giants, Kyle Kendrick getting set for his 10th start for the Phillies. Well, this game, like last night's, could come down to the bullpen. The Phillies have used a variety of closers this year. The Giants, well, their closer's a variety show all by himself. The lineups and first pitch when we return. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Anheuser-Busch. Smooth Busch beer and easy drinking Busch Light. Head for the mountains of Busch. By Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines new Rapid Rewards. Unlimited reward seats and no blackout dates. By Xfinity, only from Comcast, the official HD triple play provider of the Phillies. By Toyota. Toyota offers fuel efficiency you'll love, only better. By Citizens Bank, we're for homes. Talk to us today about how we can help guide you to the loan that's right for you. And by Independence Blue Cross. No matter where you are in life or business, we have plans that fit. Go to plansthatfit.com. final game of this 3-game set. Let's take a look at the Giants starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, only from Comcast. Leading it off in center field is Andres Torres. Jeff Kempinger, the second baseman, bats second. Carlos Beltran hits third. Pablo Sandoval is now the cleanup hitter. Aubrey Huff is the first baseman. He'll hit fifth. Nate Shearholtz goes from right field to left field. He'll bat sixth. In the bottom third, a Brandon Crawford starting as shortstop tonight. Chris Stewart doing the catching, and Tim Lincecum on the mound. And they'll face Phillies right-hander Kyle Kendrick, who's making his 25th appearance overall and his 10th start. He's been pretty good as a starting pitcher, Wills.
He's been a workmanlike guy, Tom. You use him as a spot starter, reliever, in the rotation because of the injuries to Blanton and Oswalt. And naturally, a lot of left-handed hitters in this lineup. They have stacked it with 7 of them, including Lincecum. Here's the Southwest Airlines scouting report on Kyle. He is a contact pitcher, will throw a lot of ground balls. His 10th start of the season. And, he's not going to strike out many. He's not going to walk many.
So Andres Torres will lead it off against Kyle Kendrick. Torres did play at game 1 of this series, 1 for 5 overall with a run scored and an RBI. And the first pitch of the night is taken below the knees. Ball 1. So we're underway. It's 1 ball and no strikes.
Torres will bunt once in a while, so Martinez plays way up at third just in case. Howard back at first, figuring he's not going to drag it down there.
Overall hitting .235 with 3 home runs and 15 runs batted in. On the inside corner, 1-1. Members of the media today asked Carlos Beltran about his new team and if he was familiar with anybody on the team. And he mentioned, a lot of the Latin players, as Beltran said. And in particular, he mentioned Torres, who is from Puerto Rico. And Torres yesterday relayed a story that when Beltran was with the Royals and Torres was with the Tigers, Beltran sought him out and gave him some advice on how it was going to be as a major league player. 2-2 the count.
Did he play with Mota at the same time as the Mets?
Played with Guillermo Mota in New York.
Yeah. So he would know him.
And played with Jeremy Affeldt when the two were in Kansas City. 2-2 the count to Andres Torres. That ball just missed. Boy, the home plate umpire Mike Estabrook in this first inning with this first batter has a tight zone.
Trying to run a little sinker down and away from him, and actually that was a cutter. Tried to come on the back door with him, missed.
3-2 the count to Torres. To center field, Victorino is there. And there's one away.
Time now for a Nissan Keys 2 tonight's game. A little overcast, but no rain thus far, and Phillies hope to keep it that way and get through this one just fine. Fireworks to follow. Well, Carlos Beltran is here, and they just plugged him right into the 3-hole, and he has to help their team offensively. And Phillies with a chance to win yet another series tonight. They're really going to have to earn it, though, to beat Tim Lincecum, and there is Beltran.
Beltran flew in from Cincinnati. He left Cincinnati yesterday and arrived here in Philadelphia. Here's Kempinger, who moves up to the 2-hole.
He could have left some stuff there because they're going right back there tonight.
That's right.
I wonder if he knew that or thought about it. Or anybody said, "Hey, Carlos, if you can't put it in the suitcase, you can go back and get it on Friday."
Kempinger's 2 for 7 in the series. Outside, 1 ball and 1 strike.
They designated Bill Hall for assignment today if they took him off the DL. So I guess they figure Kempinger's going to fill that void for them better than Hall could have. And then they sent Emmanuel Burris out to make room for Beltran.
There were a whole bunch of different moves swirling around after last night's game. And around Major League Baseball, see some of the moves that have been made. Felipe Lopez has been acquired by the Brewers to fill the void left by Ricky Weeks, who is out with an ankle injury.
Jumped at the bag last night.
Boy, he got hurt.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Well, when you jump at the bag, you talk about it all the time, how you can get hurt, and that was nasty.
Michael Martinez throws out Kempinger 2 away. And then, of course, the other move is Kosuke Fukudome was traded from the Cubs to the Cleveland Indians. One of the issues they had was that in Japan, it's an insult to be traded. Not here in the States, though. 2 So here's Beltran. You see his numbers below against the Phillies. This year, 8 for 35 against them. 6 for 19 against Kyle Kendrick in his career. And he takes a strike. It's 0-1.
Another thing he'll give them is an on-base percentage. Bruce Bochy's got to love that. He's been on base in 32 straight games. And, you know, as a switch hitter with power, he's perfect for them. And their ballpark, he's going to hit a lot of doubles. He leads the league in doubles.
Ground ball right side. Bobbled by Howard. Still has time. Kendrick's there. The side is retired. So Kendrick retires the Giants in order. Carlos Beltran's first at bat as a Giant is in the books. We go to the bottom of the first. Xfinity only from Comcast. Leading it off at shortstop, Jimmy Rollins. Michael Martinez bats second. Chase Utley hits third, followed by Ryan Howard and Shane Victorino. Raul Ibanez is in the 6th hole. Dominic Brown bats 7th. Carlos Ruiz, the catcher, hits 8th. And batting 9th and pitching, of course, is Kendrick. And they'll face 27-year-old right-hander Tim Lincecum, who, like Kendrick, is a native of Washington. But the two were about an hour apart where they grew up.
He lives in Seattle now. There's the numbers on Lincecum. Got off to a little bit of a slow start this year, but has really picked it up. You know, a lot of times we'll say, well, this is what the guy's out pitch is. According to the reports on him, all 4 of them are out pitches. Fastball, curveball, slider, and changeup, which is really a split. And he can strike you out with anybody. 2-time Cy Young Award winner.
Jimmy Rollins leads it off, and he takes on the inside corner for a strike. It's 0-1. Lincecum was scheduled to pitch game 1, but came down with a bout of the flu, which now they're saying could have been food poisoning. Yesterday, he shagged out in the outfield. He threw, felt stronger, but they still didn't know until this morning whether he would start tonight or tomorrow in Cincinnati.
Yeah, they're concerned about his stamina tonight.
Ground ball, fair ball, right over the first base bag, off the sidewall. Rollins hustling to second. He'll get there easily. That ends an 0 for 19 slump for Jimmy Rollins. And it's his 18th double of the year.
Like all really good pitchers, too, you want to jump on them early. You see the way teams try to get on Halladay and Lee right out of the chute. Same thing here. You get a double off Lincecum. Martinez has to get him over and then get him in. Jimmy got something off speed here, and he stayed back well. It may have been a changeup. Ball goes right over the bag and then kicks off, as Tom said, off the sidewall down there, and an easy double for Jimmy Rollins.
That'll bring Martinez to the plate. Let's see what he does. And then he's swinging away, and it's 0-1. The key is to get Rollins over to third.
Threw him a breaking ball there. When he first came up, Lincecum threw basically fastball, curveball. Then he added that changeup. It was kind of a split, and then he said, just for the heck of it, I'll throw a slider or cutter, and he has that now.
The 0-1 to Martinez, shows bunt, bunts it to the right side. It's a really good bunt. Lincecum bobbles it, and Martinez is out at first. I think Martinez was running all the way.
He was, but And you are what you are. We talked about it with Valdez last night. So one of the misconceptions about Michael Martinez, I have fans come up to me, why doesn't he run more, steal bases? He's really fast. He's not really fast. He's an average runner. And right there, Tim Lincecum recovers and gets him at first base. I think he was running. I think he was running. But he is not a fast runner. He's a good runner, but has average speed.
Well, it was a good recovery by Lincecum. It was a very good bunt by Michael Martinez. That was the key. So he got the job done. The Giants will play the infield back here in the bottom of the first, with Rollins over at third and Utley at the plate.
Right, they'll give you a run here.
The ball's in the dirt. You have to be on your toes with Lincecum. He has 9 wild pitches this year.
Right, because his stuff is so nasty down, and he will really test his catcher back there.
It's surprising to see Chase struggle against a particular pitcher, but he's just 2 for 20 against Lincecum.
8 strikeouts, and that's what Lincecum wants right now, is no contact.
Utley 8 for 21 on this homestand for the Phillies. The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Marquise Neal of Philadelphia. If the Phillies hit a home run in tonight's ball game, the Marquise will win $200. What had won the count to Utley? Changeup, and Utley pulls it foul, and it's 1-2.
Watch that stride of Lincecum. They have something really neat in their book. The normal stride length for a pitcher is 77 to 87% of his height. With Tim Lincecum, his stride is 129%, or roughly 7.5 feet more than his height.
Who figured that out?
I don't know, but it's in their book. I remember last year we were talking about when he and Halladay pitched, they were landing in the same hole.
Yeah.
And Roy's 6'6".
And Lincecum's 5'11", listed at 5'11".
Stride is just amazing.
Utley lays off 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And that's something he started doing as a very young, as a kid, with his father as his teacher. And he does so many different things that you would never try to teach somebody, but they all work for him. But that hole where he lands is just ridiculous when you're 5'11".
He has a little Oral Hershiser in his motion, but it's not in the stride. It's just in the way he tilts his head a little bit. Utley, fly ball, shallow center. The shortstop Crawford is back and makes the catch. And Rollins can't go anywhere. During the 2011 season, Turkey Hill will contribute $100 for each Phillies victory and 5 cents for each carton of Phillies Grand Slam ice cream, sold to support the Phillies youth baseball and softball programs.
Got him to chase a high fastball. Now here's the delivery where he kind of hooks the ball behind. Big, long stride, long arm angle, and look where he lands, way out in here. It's just different. They call him the freak for a reason. Chase Utley really upset with himself because he threw everything down to him and threw a high fastball about nose high, and he popped it up.
Ryan Howard lays off the first pitch. They appeal. No swing, says Mark Carlson.
Maybe nose high, not nose high, but up around the letters. You know, it's a pitcher going to pop up or foul off normally, and he did. He popped it up.
Ryan Howard has hit 3 home runs against Lincecum in his career, including 1 in his opening ball game against the Phillies. He and Victorino both homered that day.
They have a shift on, but they have shortstops to the left side of the back. They do not have 3 players on the right side. When you see the shift, and they're giving him that room in there.
Swing and a miss, 2-1.
That changeup, you know, you hear him talk about whether it's a changeup, whether it's a split. It's almost like a Roy Halladay type pitch where it's in between. But it has some serious dive to it.
Fastball fouled back, 2-2. Ryan Howard said that when Tim Lincecum first came up, he was a thrower, like a lot of young pitchers who threw hard. He said, so if you couldn't catch up with him the first time, you'd catch up with him probably the second time up. But now he said he's a pitcher. He said he's changed everything.
got 4 out pitches.
2-2 the count to Howard. In the dirt.
This guy's doing a really good job blocking that splitter, change up, breaking balls, everything he's throwing. Because Jimmy Rollins is thinking about trying to score now if he could bounce, if that bounces away.
Rollins led off the inning with a double, moved to third on a sacrifice. Chase then popped up to shallow center. And now it's 3-2 to Ryan Howard. And Howard's down on strike. So the first strikeout of the night for Lincecum. And the Phillies leave one over at third. We head to the second here in Philadelphia. No score between the Giants and Phils. Today to see every Phillies game live or on demand on your computer and your favorite devices. Visit Phillies.com to order and to get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere. A lot of day games today around Major League Baseball. Getaway day.
Yep.
In fact, over the American League, there were 3 day games. In the National League, there were 4. Pablo Sandoval leads it off.
Phillies are not really inconveniencing the Giants that much either, because they're only going to Cincinnati and they have a night game.
Sandoval hits it the opposite way. If it stays fair, that's trouble. It is a fair ball. Home run. Pablo Sandoval the other way. It's his 10th home run of the year, and it's 1-0 Giants. Ninth home run allowed by Kendrick this season.
Yeah, the Phillies left one out there, of course, in the first inning that they know they should have gotten, didn't get it, and all these left-handed hitters in the lineup against Kyle Kendrick, and right there that pitch out over the plate a little bit, and he kept it fair, just inside the pole.
Here's Aubrey Huff. Huff's 1 for 7 in the series for the Giants. The addition of Beltran has changed a lot in this lineup. Not only is he batting third, but Sandoval moves to the 4 spot. And they think it's going to help Aubrey Huff, who right now bats 5th. Now, Huff may not stay in the 5 hole if he doesn't produce, but you know, they tinker with it because Huff was batting 4th in the first 2 games of the series. And Bruce Bochy said he thinks it might help.
Gives them some versatility in their lineup too, because they go switch hitter in the 3 and 4 hole, and that makes it difficult to load up your bullpen against them late. Huff is a left-handed hitter. There's Panda Bear.
Strike by Kendrick, and it's 3-1.
6 of the home runs off Kyle this year by left-handed hitters.
Pretty good pitch, and it's 3-2. Bruce Bochy had to give up his number 15 as he gave it up to Carlos Beltran today. He said, you know, 15's been sitting on the Giants bench way too long. So he's now wearing, I think they said number 16.
Right.
There's ball 4, humps the board. Beltran offered to give him a watch with diamonds, and Bruce Bochy said, I don't need a watch. So a base runner with nobody out, 1-0 Giants, and the homer by Sandoval.
John Kruk and Mitch Williams, when they switched numbers, the 29's got a case of beer. Sounds like those two. There are no watches or Rolexes involved, just a case of beer.
And the number 99, well, has lived in the hearts and minds of Phillies fans since.
And he took that 99.
Broke his bat, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Mets had a 9-3 lead today and then hung on and finished off a sweep of the Cincinnati Reds. Jason Bay had 3 RBI. Lucas Duda was in right field in place of Beltran.
4-game sweep after the Reds had a heck of a series with the Braves, got themselves right back in the race, and all of a sudden they go under 500 again.
Yeah, they're 5.5 games out, or make that 6 games out. Scherholtz hits a long foul ball. Oh. That hit off one of the advertising panels in the upper deck.
Heard that thud. Yeah, that was way up high. People are ducking down below like, wait a minute, that was over our head. No, it came straight down.
Outside, 2-2. Kendrick in his career as a starting pitcher has won 36 games, 3 this year. And 19 of those wins have come here at the ballpark. Off the end of the bat, fly ball to left field, not deep. Ibanez comes in. Now get Philly sports on the go. Be the first to know everything about your favorite teams right from the palm of your hand. Your teams right now. Download the free CSN Philly sports app now. And it's good to have that app, not only with the Major League Baseball trade deadline this Sunday, but look at all the moves in the NFL, including what the Eagles have done just today alone. See the conditions here at the ballpark, 82 degrees and cloudy. Ground ball toward the middle. Rollins flips to Utley. Bare hands, has time. Nope. Can't get the double play, but at least got the lead runner at second. 2 outs.
Seen that much of Brandon Crawford. He got down the line because they did everything right here. Jimmy with a good flip there. Chase bare hands it. Got a strong throw there to Ryan Howard, and the guy beat the play.
So Crawford's aboard, and Chris Stewart is the hitter. Guy who's now with his 5th major league team. White Sox, Rangers, Yankees, Padres, and now the Giants. Takes a strike, and it's 0-1.
Played a total of 26 games in the major leagues prior to this year and hit 187. Signed as a 6-year minor league free agent during the offseason, and with the injury to Posey, you know, he's the backup now to Eli Whiteside.
This year batting .208 with no homers and 4 runs batted in. Well, he had him way out in front of that pitch, and it's 0-2. Kyle Kendrick will be in the Phillies starting rotation at least one more time through. It may last a little longer than that, but Roy Oswalt pitched last night for Lehigh Valley and is scheduled to pitch again on Monday for the Iron Pigs when they take on Scranton. 0-2 pitch to Stewart. Ground ball toward third. Behind the bag, Martinez. Long throw to first in time to retire Stewart, and the side is retired. But the Giants do get a run. Pablo Sandoval belts his 10th home run of the year. The Giants, the last team in the National League to have a guy hit 10 home runs, and it's Sandoval who went the opposite way. Follow all the Phillies stars of tomorrow at Lehigh Valley, Reading, Lakewood, and Williamsport. All 4 minor league affiliates are close to Philadelphia and easy to visit. Go to Phillies.com/minor leagues for more information or to order tickets. If you were at Lehigh Valley today, you would have seen Placido Polanco make a rehab start. Today he went 0 for 2, a couple of groundouts and a walk. He played 6 innings, and Charlie Manuel said that tomorrow they're hoping he plays 9. So Polanco could be back very soon.
Well, yeah, Polanco's goal was to be on the airplane to Denver on Sunday night. So, you know, if everything goes right, maybe he can be. And not only be there just to hang out, but to play on Monday.
Victorino out in front, 2 balls and 1 strike. 1-0 Giants here in the bottom of the second.
Hey, Lincecum there with all the great stuff that he has. He's not going to give in with a fastball there. Victorino hit a home run off him in his first major league start. That was against the Phillies in San Francisco on a Sunday night.
On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, down to Atlanta, the Braves, who won last night again in extra innings, have taken a 1-0 lead in the top of the second.
Well, they've had a long week, have the Pirates and the Braves.
Broken bat, roller up the third base line. Sandoval picks it up in foul territory. Last night it was David Ross who won the game for Atlanta in extra innings. The night before it was a botched call by the home plate umpire Jerry Meals, who now has admitted that it was a botched call. The Braves are 5 games behind the Phillies right now in the National League East. The Pirates, meanwhile, well, they're 2 games back of Milwaukee. Make that, 2 games back. Milwaukee won today. Over to first. Ooh. Took an odd hop for Huff, but he handled it in the glove side, 1 away. And that'll bring Ibanez to the plate.
There's a bad hop last night, base hit that the Phillies got, and that one took another one right there. And Huff takes it off to the side. That big old picker he used down there at first base, and he also kept it away from his coconut, which was key. So that one would have hurt.
He's probably looking around that dirt saying, man, thought this was a true infield.
Yeah, that one last night that Dominic Brown hit, and the Phillies were very fortunate to even score a run last night. They got 2 breaks in that inning to get the run.
1 ball and 1 strike to count to Ibanez. 6 for 19 on the homestand with 6 runs batted in. He taps that foul. It's 1-2.
Lincecum has thrown 8 home run balls this year. 4 to left-handed hitters, 4 to right-handed hitters. But he has really been pitching well lately. He lost 1-0 his last time out. Home run by Deoner Navarro of the Dodgers.
One of the issues he's had are the walks. He's 5th in the league in walks with 52, which you wouldn't expect from him. And over his last 3 starts, 19 innings, he's allowed 11 walks.
None so far tonight. He got off to a really ragged start this year and then started to pitch a lot better. They don't score many runs for him. There's a guy looking on intently watching him pitch. You know, Roy has to enjoy watching Tim Lincecum.
There remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Dominic Brown waits on deck. Not counting tonight. In Lincecum's last 7 starts, he's 3-3. His team has scored 7 runs combined. Torres gives a little peek to Shearholtz and makes the catch. 2 outs. Time now to take a look at our Mazda League leaders, the active career leaders in earned run average. Lincecum 3.02. Clayton Kershaw, well, those numbers are just getting better and better as this year's moving on. Adam Wainwright's on that list despite the injury this year. Same with Josh Johnson, who may be done for the year.
Boy, he has really been injury plagued. Johan Santana had I think he had a rehab start yesterday.
He did.
So the Mets are trying to get him back. See if they can get anything out of him this year.
There's Dominic Brown. He's hit in 6 consecutive games. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Dominic Brown celebrating an anniversary today. The anniversary of his first major league game. Last year against Arizona, he had a couple hits, a couple of RBI, and a couple of runs scored. Let's see if he can celebrate in style. 2-2 the count.
Well, he never faced this guy before, so this is interesting. I think Dominic Brown does do is run a lot of deep counts and walk. And here he is again at 3-2.
And he went after a pitch out of the strike zone, and Lincecum picks up his 2nd strikeout of the night. So he's retired 6 in a row since the leadoff double by Jimmy Rollins in the 1st. We go to the 3rd. question. Log on to Phillies.com. Go to the fans section for all the information. And please submit your answer on the subject line. Wheels, I think this is a tough one. Name the player the Giants signed to a Fresno Grizzlies contract to replace the called-up Buster Posey on May 29, 2010. So this player was signed to a minor league contract to fill Posey's void at AAA. The answer will be revealed in the 7th inning, whether you know it or not.
In other words, when Posey came to the big leagues,
correct.
This is the guy they signed
to be put in the minors to get his spot.
He must have a Phillies connection.
I don't know.
Of course you don't, even though you just read it. I mean, you know, don't do that. I mean, this is for the fans. They know you just read it. I don't know what it is. I have short-term memory.
2-1 the count to Lincecum. All right, well, I will.
Like 10 seconds.
There is some truth to that.
Yeah, well.
I will allow that hit.
Thank you.
There is a Phillies connection.
There has to be. I mean, why else would you use that question? It'd be totally insignificant.
Ground ball to the right of the mound. Kendrick does a nice job tracking it down. One away. Well, this Sunday, when the Phillies take on the Pittsburgh Pirates, great event that'll take place prior to the game. It's a 10 event that will benefit the Fans Feeding Families program. That's right. It's from 11:30 to 1:30. Roy Halladay is scheduled to appear. You can go to Phillies.com/feedingfamilies for more information. But we will tell you this. You get a buffet menu, beer and soft drinks, a ticket to the game, plus a Fans Feeding Families pin. It costs $125, $75 of which will go toward Phil Abundance.
Very nice.
Andres Torres is the hitter. Little nubber. Foul. Torres fly to center. His first time up. Bunted in the air. Oh, did he get it? Nope. It's off his glove, and Torres is safe at first. That'll be a base hit.
Well, Kendrick does what you should do there. You know, he's starting to charge when he sees him square to bunt. It's bunted right at him. Normally, that's a terrible bunt. But, you know,
he got away with it.
Made a heck of an effort. Kyle's a very good athlete, but just couldn't quite get there. And now they're trying to see if he caught a chin burn on this. Oh, he may have. He hit hard.
He sure did. I think they're saying that he hit his arm, and they're looking for a towel. Rob DiClemente, the Phillies bat boy, brings the towel out.
There it is. See him dive for it. Can't quite get there, and head hits, arms hit, everything. And didn't have much time to protect himself.
Got to go up that hill, too, to get back at it.
That is a really difficult play. But, you know, the guy's certainly not trying to pop the bunt over his head.
Well, a break for the Giants. They get a base runner on the bunt single.
And a base stealer, too, in Andres Torres, who has to be watched over there.
He has stolen 12 this year. He's been caught 3 times.
He has a significant lead. A lead that's certainly going to attract a throw over.
Keppinger grounded out softly to third his first time up, 0 for 1. Out of the Giants regulars in the lineup tonight, Torres has stolen the most bags. Then Shearholt, who has stolen 7.
He's getting back easily, so he can even lengthen his lead a little bit.
Kendrick a little different look. He stepped off.
Well, if nothing else, he's trying to tire him out with all those belly whoppers he's taking going back into first.
Oh, I guess Kendrick figures, well, I just took a belly whopper, so I'm going to make you take a few.
I know I don't feel so hot right now.
Torres goes, pitch is taken for a strike. The throw to second is in time, right in the base path. A nice play by Rollins. 2 gone here in the third.
Well, good job on those throwovers. You know, it took a little bit of the spring out of the step of Torres, and I know fans get upset when they see the throwovers because, you know, you think, oh, come on, let's go. But there's a purpose to that. And in this case was to try and tire him out a little bit. And then, as Tom said, a really nice play by Jimmy Rollins on a short hop there. He'll get a real good look at this short hop. Ooh, and he picks it and puts a tag on him. Carlos had a lot on the throw.
0-1 the count to Kempinger, who grounds one toward third. Again backing up on it Martinez. Again a long throw, and he shows a strong arm. And the side is retired. Well, a little defense from the Phillies after the Giants get a break. That break is wiped away by Carlos Ruiz and Jimmy Rollins. We go to the bottom of the third. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines' new Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats and no blackout dates. By the Quality Plus Ford stores and by Xfinity, only from Comcast, the official HD triple play provider of the Phillies. Carlos Ruiz begins the third, and he takes down low. Ruiz had his 11-game hitting streak end last night. Fights one off. It's 1 ball and 1 strike.
With his hits off, let's come extra base hits there.
Another foul ball. Ruiz is 4 for 13 on this homestand. And he's down on strikes. 3 strikeouts for Lincecum. And there's 1 away here in the third. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, Kevin Correa has connected on an RBI single to tie up the ball game against the Braves. So it's 1-1 as they're in the bottom of the second. Tomorrow it'll be Charlie Morton against Roy Halladay. Second time they've locked up. James McDonald against Cliff Lee, and Jeff Karstens against Vance Worley. Kendrick lines one to right field, a base hit.
Charlie Morton, who has copied Roy Halladay's motion to a T almost, and it'll look like they're clones out there tomorrow night.
They did face each other, right, in Pittsburgh, or was it one day Halladay, one day Morton?
I think it was one.
I think you're right.
Halladay pitched on Sunday.
Yeah,
and I think Morton
you're right.
pitched on Friday.
That's right.
In that series.
But there was so much talk about what Halladay thought of Morton and
right, and Halladay was sitting there watching him that night.
That's it.
He does look like me. How about Kyle Kendrick getting a hit off Tim Lincecum?
Toy, the second hit for the Phillies. Rollins had the other one.
See if they're going to hold him on, sort of. They have Huff. You see where Huff is, so he can jump in the hole real quick there and take it away from Jimmy Rollins.
Well, if he jumps to his right and Rollins hits it where he hit it last time, he's going to have another double.
Yeah.
Rollins takes inside. They'll appeal the move of the body, but no swing, says the third base umpire, Mark Carlson. 1 ball and no strikes. There are a lot of folks that were surprised that Lincecum was selected for the All-Star team. Maybe it's not a surprise since Bruce Bochy was the manager of the National League squad. I say that because he was 8-8, but his earned run average is under 3. And of his 7 losses this year, or 7 of his 8 losses this year, the Giants have scored 2 runs or less.
Yeah, we're talking about how he has some of the least run support in the league, and he can still strike you out, as you see there.
Second to Clayton Kershaw, who's running away from the pack.
And look at the 3, 4, and 5 on.
Yep.
We're lucky enough to watch them.
Swing and a miss. It's 2-2.
He's really throwing a lot of changeups tonight. Trying to see his grip sometime, whether he does split his fingers or whether he tucks it. You know, they've been you hear both about it.
Michael Martinez hoping that Rollins gets on. And he could try to tie this ball game up. Rollins grounds it foul. And it remains 3-2.
3 straight changeups. He almost looked like he had it back in his hand a little bit, like a changeup more than a split. Now, couldn't tell whether his fingers were split or not.
Ball 4, first walk of the night for Lincecum. And the Phillies have 2 aboard here in the 3rd. You know, he's had 2 games this year where he's walked 6 batters.
Yeah.
So he can get wild even with all his success.
That was a really good at bat by Jimmy Rollins with all those changeups he was throwing him.
Martinez sacrificed Rollins over to 3rd his first time up. Won't be sacrificing here. Sends it in the air to left field. Backing up on it is Shearholtz on the track. Makes the catch. Kendrick's going to try for 3rd. The throw won't be there. Pablo Sandoval's a little upset that throw didn't come over to 3rd after it was cut off.
Throw was right on line too, and Shearholtz is one of the best throwers in the league. He's a right fielder now playing left field. I'm thinking, oh, don't tag up on this guy.
I thought he was just trying to draw the throw.
Yeah, and Sandoval, you know, that's a third baseman's job, is to say let it go through. And you see he took a look at it, decided to go, and boy, that thing was right on line too, and it was cut off by the shortstop.
Well, now a wild pitch could tie the ball game up. We mentioned that Lincecum's thrown 9 wild pitches this year, 2nd in the National League. Chase Utley, who popped out to shallow center his first time up to the shortstop Crawford, will have another chance with the runner over 3rd. Two outs here at the bottom of the 3rd. Little quick pitch to Utley, and he takes it for a strike.
Good changeup. Threw him back-to-back changeups. And now this guy can throw 94 too. So you know it's not like you can sit up there and think, well, I can foul his fastball up and look for something off speed. There he tucks it in the hand with it. Yeah, that's a straight change he's throwing. You really see the grip that time. And really fooled up me. Great arm speed from Lincecum.
Oh, into the count Utley. Rollins goes. Pitch is taken on the inside corner. Called strike 3. A fastball that ran back. And the side is retired. No runs, 1 hit, 2 men left. Kendrick will go back to work. The Giants lead at 1-0. Tim Lincecum has 4 strikeouts so far in the game. Wanted prices you'll love, like Avery labels with exclusive True Block technology. Who but W.B. Mason? Well, 3 in the books here in Philadelphia. Giants lead at 1-0 thanks to a home run by Pablo Sandoval. And we head to the 4th. Carlos Beltran to lead it off. He's 0 for 1. Grounded out to Ryan Howard his first time up. And he fouls the first pitch from Kendrick off. It's 0-1. Gary Matthews joins us up here in the booth. And Sarge Beltran met with the media earlier today, was asked about the trade to the Giants. And you know, one of the writers asked him about the possibility of coming to the Phillies. And he said, well, the Mets never mentioned the Phillies. The only team they ever mentioned were the Giants, and that was yesterday when they asked him if he would waive his no-trade clause.
Yeah, well, you could see the Mets would not want him to be on this club. They're kind of putting salt in the wounds, if you will.
See, I don't know. I think I don't think it mattered. I think the Mets would have traded him to the Braves, the Phillies, the Giants, whoever gave them the best deal at this point.
Well, that has a lot to do with it, but I just can't see them trading him in that division and have a chance to have to face him.
Swing and a tip right into the glove of Ruiz. First strikeout for Kendrick. 1 away. Well, Beltran, according to reports, the Mets will pay $4 million of the $6.5 he's owed the rest of the year, and it's a high sinker right there. Yeah,
swinging at that two-seamer as it goes away from him. Well, there's no doubt he's gonna help that club, and you can see what Bochy feels about him. Put him right in the 3rd spot. That's usually your best hitter on the team.
Sandoval homered his only time up. That's the only run of the game. Back-to-back pitches up and in.
Yeah, that's how a lot of guys get hurt right there. He's diving, thinking maybe on the outside part of the plate. And if you take the pitch, you want to be going the other way. You want your head turned the other way.
Ball almost hit the bat.
Oh, yeah. You get hit right in your face there, but if you keep turning that way.
Outside, 3-0. Aubrey Huff on deck.
Okay.
He's getting the green light. 3-0. Hits it right it up. 2 outs. Oh, a Coors Light cold hard blast is the only run of the game, Sarge.
Yeah, high fastball. Actually, that ball was sinking down a little bit, and he hit it right between the lines there. There's your Coors Light cold hard blast.
Well, 2 gone, and here's Aubrey Huff. Sandoval retired this time by Kendrick. Kind of like this. He's changed his approach a little bit to these lefties. He's coming inside more. I don't know if it's on purpose or the ball's just tailing that way, or if Ruiz is asking for it that tight. To right field, Dominic Brown headed back toward the track. It's over his head and off the wall. Huff heading to second. The throw by Brown not in time. 18th double of the year for Aubrey Huff.
See, that's what happens, though, when you don't get it inside and the ball gets out over the plate. Hitters have a chance to get their arms extended, and when they do like that, it goes a long way. Lucky that ball didn't get out of the ballpark there. It hits the bottom of the fence there. Dominic coming up with a pretty good throw to second base.
So a runner in scoring position now for Scherholtz, who popped to left his first time up. One ball and no strikes the count to Scherholtz. That's one of the reasons why Scherholtz will probably continue playing every day. Even though he's won for his last 14, he's been one of the hotter hitters for the Giants. In particular with runners in scoring position. Got some guys that are used to being everyday players that may not be everyday outfielders anymore. Aaron Rowan's one. Cody Ross is another. And when Pat Burrell eventually comes back from a foot injury, he may not play even as much as he was earlier this year. Inside, 2-1.
Well, Bochy likes to go with the hot hand, and it doesn't matter whether or not you're a veteran or not. If you're not having good at bats, it's simple. You're not going to play. He likes you making solid contact. There's Bochy.
Saw Cody Ross, who they say now will play a little center field. Well, he shattered his bat. It went out toward Utley. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, the other thing, too, though, I mean, if you're an outfielder, it's a great opportunity to show what you can do. And obviously, they weren't happy with their outfield play because they went out and got Beltran. That bat gets shattered there. Cutter right in there in the hands.
Two balls and 2 strikes the count. Huff's on second. Kendrick's trying to finish up this inning and not allow any damage. Coming in again. Broke another bat.
Well, in on his hands again, and that's where you want to pitch those left-handers. Especially any of the guys. That's can hit the ball out of the ballpark there. You stay in on their hands, and if you go away, maybe you go away with a changeup or so, or backdoor slider. Try and keep that hitter off balance.
Let's see where Ruiz sets up. Wait until the last minute. In the dirt, he blocked it. 3-2. Crawford's on deck.
And still wants to make him hit his pitch there, especially that base open at first base. Don't want to give in to him.
Tell you what, Schierholtz has hit 2 really long foul balls.
Wow.
I mean,
that's upper deck.
Yeah, last time he hit the A1 limousine sign on the facing of the upper deck. That's that yellow sign right there. This one went up above it.
Yeah, where he's throwing that ball, that's just about all you can do with it is to pull that ball foul when he throws inside off the plate a little.
Line drive, base hit into right center field. That ball was up. Huff is going to score. It's 2-0 Giants. Well, he was fighting them off one after another. Kendrick kept on going inside, and that time tried to sneak a pitch by him, and he just left it up in the zone. It's the 38th RBI for Schierholtz.
Yeah, not a very good pitch for me, Tom. Their slider out over the plate there. Again, you don't want to have to give in to him. You mentioned how hot he was. That base open, you want to make sure that he doesn't hit a solid single the way that he did.
So 2 runs have scored now for the Giants. And a quick toss over. No balls, 1 strike to count. Get Crawford a little out in front. It's 0-2. Now, we think back to the pitch to Schierholtz. You said you didn't like the pitch. Obviously, it turned out to be an RBI single. Is part of that because first base is open? You had a youngster.
Yeah, exactly that. And not only that, though, you're pitching to the hot hitter.
Right.
You know, keep it in on his hands. He'd want to keep pulling foul. Okay. Yeah, he's lucky he didn't get that ball up where he got it out of the ballpark there.
Yeah, now Crawford does what he did the last time. Ground 1 to Rollins, and the inning comes to a close. So I guess part of it is understanding the situation and that it's okay even if maybe another guy gets on, because then you face the guy that doesn't have that much experience.
Good.
by Chevrolet. See your local Chevy dealer or visit ChevyDealer.com. By WB Mason. Who but WB Mason for amazingly low office product prices. And by McDonald's. I'm loving it. Ryan Howard leads off the fourth. A little bit of rainfall in here, Sarge.
Yeah. I think it'll be enough to stop the game, do you?
No. Swing and a miss, 1-1. We can see Center City. A lot of times when it's a storm that's going to cause the tarp to go on the field, the city's usually gone, enveloped by the precipitation.
That's a good point.
It did say there would be some showers that would fall at some point, but they wouldn't be long. One and two the count to Ryan Howard. Hits that one hard, but right into the shift. Backhanded by Keppinger. One away here in the fourth. Well, we're an equal opportunity poncho dresser. We usually show guys when they're struggling putting ponchos on. Look at that guy behind the plate while Ryan Howard's up at the plate. I mean, that is textbook right there.
Yeah, that's practicing and then knowing exactly what you're doing. It can be pretty difficult to get on. I mean, I can see you put one of those on one of these days when it starts to rain.
In all defense of the folks that have trouble, that one looks like it's a little heavier than some of them. I think the lighter ponchos are a little more difficult to put on. I mean, look, Sean's decided to wear a couple of specs, but not button the poncho. That's easy.
Yeah, that is an easier way to put it on.
Yeah.
The ones that maybe they give away free are a little bit
lighter.
more difficult
to
put on.
Victorino takes low, and it's 3-0. Victorino grounded out his first time up.
Look for that same pitch again if you can. If not, go on and maybe just take it.
Inside, ball 4. That's the second walk issued by Lincecum. So the Phillies, for the third time in this game, in 4 innings, have a base runner. Let's see if they can get something rolling here against Lincecum.
Well, a lot of times against pitchers like this, you look for too much. You know, his fastball has been up 90-91. He's gotten a lot of strikeouts on just guys swinging at bad pitches for me. Well, again, you got to look for your pitch up to 2 strikes and see if you can handle that. Can't look for all of his pitches, the split, change up. Just too many to look for. So you got to stay with your own strength. And most of the time, guys will sit on that fastball because it's an easier pitch to hit.
Banez whacks it foul, and it's 0-1. Now, a few years ago, if you were facing Lincecum, you'd sit fastball and you'd probably get 2 or 3 an at bat. Now, it doesn't seem like you get that many. Well,
the thing is, too, he's learned how to pitch. Usually pitchers, when they first come in the league, especially the ones that throw hard, they want to let you know that they do throw hard.
See, now there's a fastball that Ibanez probably would like back again.
Absolutely. Especially since it was only 90.
But he's not going to get it because it's 0-2.
Well, 0-2. Now he can come out of the zone with a high fastball. You see that ball there? That's middle in, and that's the one you want to be able to attack.
0-2 the count to Ibanez. Another fastball.
Still think, too, if Victorino can get a jump, you want him to run. I mean, these are the situations on good pitchers you want to try and put the pressure on them, keep the pressure on them, and you can do that by stealing.
0-2 the count to throw over. I talked to Charlie about that today, Charlie Manuel, about guys who are on their own. Charlie has told us before that there are guys that it's up to them when they go. Guys have earned that, he said. Victorino's one of them, Utley's another, and Rollins is a third. Now, guys like Dominic Brown, who last night was aboard late in the game, he does not have the green light. Charlie said in his eyes, he's just not mature enough as a base runner to make the decision on his own.
Good point.
Whether to go or not.
Good point. There are certain situations, certain counts. Usually you want to try and go on an off-speed pitch, but more so knowing when you get a jump, you can make it.
That one in on the hands of Ibanez. Aubrey Huff, the first baseman, excuse me, makes the catch. 2 outs. Ibanez is retired. Victorino goes back to first. The 80s retro Phillies jerseys and caps, as worn on retro night, are now available at the Majestic Clubhouse store. These lightweight, authentic jerseys with the on-field retro look will keep you cool and comfortable. The Majestic Clubhouse store at Citizens Bank Park, open daily from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. I know yours is hanging in the office.
Yeah. Trying to dry out.
You look cool and comfortable.
I had a good time. Honestly, I really did. You know, you can't get used to the heat, but the people were so nice. Had plenty to drink out there, let me tell you. It wasn't all that bad, especially once you got back into the air-conditioned room. It was good, though.
Want to know the count to Dominic Brown? Well, Katie and Bill were following you around. They provided a lot of drinks. Christine Connors was out with you. Pablo Sandoval makes the catch up the line. And the side is retired. No runs, no hits. 1 man left. We've completed 4. Giants lead it to 2-0. Perfect 1-2-3 first inning. He hasn't had the same kind of success since. Every time the Phillies retire the opposing team 1-2-3, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. The Phillies baseball is brought to you by the Xfinity HD Triple Play, your complete lineup for digital TV, lightning fast internet, and home phone. Chris Stewart leads it off for San Francisco. Grounded out to third his first time up. Takes outside. It's 1-0. It'll be Stewart, Lincecum in the top of the order. Surprising to see somebody bunt with the pitcher up next, but maybe he figures if he gets on, then Lincecum can bunt him into scoring position.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Not too bad of a play, though. You know, having him bunt in that situation. Martinez was all the way back, so he's just trying to get on.
1-1 the count.
Borderline. Slider.
Grounder foul toward the camera well. It's 2-2 to Stewart. Brian Sabean, who's the general manager of the Giants, he's the one who pulled off the deal to bring Beltran to San Francisco from the Mets. I thought had an interesting quote, Sarge, after the deal. He said, when you're the defending world champions, you do what you have to try and defend that title any way you can. Martinez, a few steps from the outfield grass, one away. You know, it's almost as if, and winning a world championship puts you in a different category if you're a team, but it's almost as if there's a bravado to it. You know, you have to defend the title, and that's why you make deals like that.
I couldn't agree with you more on that, and also Brian Sabean for doing just that. Not only that, I mean, you owe it to your fans there to try and go back and repeat. I mean, you're not always promised to get back there. Beltran, who you just saw, one of the players that Brian has got in order to try and get back there.
Yeah, Beltran, along with Jeff Kempinger, who was acquired last week by the Giants. Want to know the count to Lincecum. Well, I guess part of what he was talking about was what we just saw. They won championships in New York, but last year was their first since moving to San Francisco.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a drought. They're to win it sometime, then the never.
Phillies kind of had that same approach after 08 in 2009 when they acquired Cliff Lee.
Yeah, that's another good point. Again, though, for me, that's when kind of the
off the glove of Kendrick, and Lincecum's going to be aboard. Another base hit.
Well, one of the things, however, not replenishing is a strong right-handed hitter. I'm sure Ruben is looking for one of those as a line drive from Tim Lincecum comes right up the middle. Play maybe Kyle should have probably made there. That ball a little bit lower, not near the face area.
Howard will play behind Lincecum over at first. Andres Torres the hitter. He's 1 for 2. Out in front, 0-1.
You know, one of the things, that ball comes back so hard, a lot of times as a pitcher, you're not able to judge that ball. Well, sometimes it hits so hard, you throw the glove out, it just sticks right there. But when you're trying to catch it, move the glove, a lot of times it doesn't always work.
Yeah, in that case, that one looked like it was moving a little bit too.
A little softer than maybe what he thought it was.
Fly ball toward the right field corner. Brown is over, and it's out of play. Dominic Brown tossed it into the stands where that gentleman knocked some beer out of that lady's hand and also stole the ball. I don't think she's happy that she got beard spill on it. And a call, strike 3. That ball came back. That's the pitch he's wanted a couple of times tonight. He finally got it, and it's his second strikeout.
Yeah, that's a strikeout pitch for a left-handed batter when they're up there with 2 strikes. You can see the movement on that. Just needs to repeat that a little more, especially once he gets 2 strikes on the batter.
2 away, and it'll bring Jeff Kempinger to the plate. He grounded out to third his first 2 times up. Kendrick has 9 ground ball outs so far. See the distribution of outs tonight. He's got Beltran and Torres on strikes. Fly ball right center field. Long run for Victorino, and he gets there. Makes the catch. He kind of overran that. That's how well he went back on it, and the side is retired. No runs, one hit. An infield hit by Tim Lincecum. One man left. On to the bottom of the fifth. Bill's looking for. Links have become a major part of his life. Watch Birds of Summer presented by Mazda Sunday nights at 6:30 and 10:30 only on Comcast Sportsnet. Sarge, you ever wonder what Brian Wilson's beard would look like in a Phillies cap? Well, there you go.
There it is. It's right. Well, I tell you, though, it's okay to have that kind of a beard, but you better be able to pitch the way that he does. Yeah, you can get away with that.
Very similar. I wonder if the gentleman in the Phillies cap started to grow it a year ago, like Wilson started to grow it.
Boy, what a beard.
Think that's tough to manage?
I think it's tough to manage. Sure he's got to wash it all the time, trim it up. That's high maintenance stuff right there.
I don't think he's trimming anything.
You don't think so?
No.
You just think he's just letting it grow out.
He's just letting it grow out. He might be coloring it a little bit.
Oh, there's no doubt he's coloring it. He's got to be combing it. You got to have it, you know, where it's manicured some. It looks like it's manicured.
Too much work. Ruiz takes slow. It's 2-0. I mean, I know you and I have hair envy and everything like that, but.
Oh, no, that's my choice on my hair, though, Tom. Okay? Talked about that before, haven't we?
You don't think this is my choice?
If I let it grow out, it'll grow out. It'll just be maybe gray. Gray natural. But, you know.
Oh. 2-1 the count to Ruiz, who struck out his first time up. Takes inside and tight. 3-1.
Should get another fastball. He's winning 2-0. Not want to walk batters, make you hit to get on.
A little low. Ruiz took an extra second before he went up to first. That's the third walk issued by Lincecum, the first one to start an inning. Now let's see what the Phillies can do, as Kyle Kendrick will probably be up there to try to bunt.
Bunting situation. Get him over there at second. Get yourself 2 shots to get him in if you can.
Kendrick singled his last time up. Oh, Pitch kept running inside. A bunted foul by Kendrick. It's 0-1.
Well, they teach pitchers when you're gonna bunt to throw that ball up. That's up and in as that ball follows him. Watch how that ball runs. That's almost more self-defense than anything else as he backs back. But when that ball comes in and you know it's not a strike, you want to get that bat and get it out of there. There it is again.
I think the recoil of the bat almost hit Kendrick in the head. Charlie Manuel thought maybe he could capitalize on Sandoval coming in. There he said to Juan Samuel, let him hit away.
Well, he's got a hit so far, but got a hit on a first pitch fastball. That was a slider. And usually when pitchers start throwing each other sliders, it's just about all over.
0-2 the count. He offered at it, and he's down on strikes. Well, Charlie looked like he gave some kind of signal to swing away. Now that may have been a decoy, or he may have said swing away. Kyle thought it would be easier for him to try to get Ruiz up to second with a bunt.
Well, after that first pitch up and in, pretty difficult to stay in there to try and bunt the ball off of him. Then he throws you two wicked sliders.
Rollins takes on the inside corner 0-1. Rollins doubled in the first, left over a third. That was the Phillies' best chance to score early in an inning.
Now, all good pitchers, you want to try and score on them early before they settle down. Well, once they settle down, they get into a rhythm. It's almost as if they're playing catch there with the catcher. Best pitch tonight has been his changeup.
Rollins loops one toward right center. Coming on is Beltran. He slides and he makes the catch.
Wow.
And he also dug up a lot of grass.
Well, that's the other thing that this guy brings to your ball club, and especially when his legs are healthy, kind of looks that way as he does a little manufacturing himself there on the turf. Take a look as he comes in there. Very difficult catch as he comes in, and look at that. He backhands the ball, stays there, well, tumbles, but that ball stays right in the glove. And oh yeah, Tim's liking that all the way. That might have been a little trouble that ball falls in, but he covered a lot of ground on it.
Well, I thought there was a pretty good chance it would fall in, but it hung up there.
Yeah, it's all in that jump, that first step. If he steps back or just hesitate, that ball does fall in.
So Ruiz remains at first with 2 outs. Here's Martinez, who's 0 for 1. And he takes low, 1 ball and no strikes.
Well, he comes right over the top with just about all of his pitches. Makes it a little more difficult to try and pick out one that you want to hit.
Low 3-1 to Martinez. Again, Lincecum can walk you if you give him a chance.
Yeah, and he's been hittable, I think, tonight. Their fastball around 91. Should be another fastball here in this situation.
At ball 4. 4th walk of the night. 2nd of the inning. And Utley will be the hitter.
Good at bat by Martinez and getting on. That's what you want to do for your 3, 4, 5 hitters. Be able to get on, give them a chance to drive you in.
Runners on first and second. Neither runner being held on. Utley taking a peek and checking out where the infielders are.
Now for the base runners, it just takes all the guesswork out. That ball hit anywhere, you're taking off. 2 outs. Don't have to worry about whether or not it's going to be caught or not. Should be able to get a pretty good jump.
Utley takes a strike. It's 0-1. That was a slider at 86. That's the thing. His separation used to be a little broader than it is now.
Well, with them throwing over the top with a slider, changeup, fastball, that's what gets the hitter.
Because everything's from the same slot.
That's right. I mean, if he deviated a little bit, maybe came 3/4 on this pitch or that pitch, but everything over the top doesn't appear to be giving up his pitches, or you can tell what he's throwing.
In the dirt, 2 balls and 1 strike. Pitches per inning for Lincecum, 86 pitches with 2 outs here in the 5th. That's a little above what you'd want it to be if you're Dave Urgetti. That's good though for the Phils.
Yep.
Two and 1 the count to Utley. Low ball 3. It's 3-1.
Well, that doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to give in to him. He'll just start all over on another hitter. So I would expect for Tim Lincecum to still throw a quality pitch as opposed to just throwing that fastball like he did to Martinez, trying to get it almost right down the middle.
3 balls, 1 strike the count to Chase Utley with runners on first and second. Oh boy, he didn't throw him a fastball. He threw him a changeup that was up, but it probably looked like it was a 92-mile-an-hour fastball.
No doubt about it. One of the reasons he's out in front of that.
Wow.
Chase looking fastball the whole way. Pulled the string up.
Well, the runners will be off. Saw the catcher Chris Stewart signal that, circling his index finger over his head. With it 3 balls and 2 strikes and 2 outs. And Utley's down on strikes. He runs away from Stewart, who flips over to first, and the side is retired. No runs, no hits. Lincecum's walked 4, including 2 in this inning. We've played our first 5, and Carlos Beltran will lead it off when we get back in the 6th. Be the Phillies' last but not least pitcher in the rotation. The story just keeps getting better for the Fightins and for the Banimal. Coming off 6 strong starts, he was ready to take the next step, and he did just that Tuesday night. The defending World Series champion saw 114 pitches and could only muster 3 hits in Worley's first career complete game in the majors. Vance is unbeaten in his last 7 starts. And it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Now more than ever, we're here for you every step of the way. Well, Vance Worley so far has handled the Giants. But the Giants won game 2. Now they lead game 3 as we go to the top of the 6th. And Carlos Beltran will lead it off against Kyle Kendrick with bullpen action behind him. Beltran is 0 for 2. He's grounded out. He's also struck out. Juan Perez is up and throwing in the pen just in case Kendrick gets in trouble. On the inside corner, 1-1. There's Perez. Swing and a miss, 1-2. That's a changeup. That's a really good one, too, to the left-handed hitter.
Yeah, I think he can throw that a little bit more, but the key is you got to get ahead of the hitters to be able to do that consistently, I guess, where he feels good.
Went back to it again. This one was low and in. And it's even 2-2.
You know, a lot of times you can start hitters out on that. Pitchers don't like throwing that for the first pitch because that could be their put-out pitch. Don't want to show that right away.
Beltran tops it up the first base line, and it rolls foul. Well, earlier tonight, Basket Blakes threw out the ceremonial first pitch. Oh, he faked the fanatic out. From the Harlem Globetrotters. The Globetrotters will be in Wildwood for 4 different nights. The 85th year of the Harlem Globetrotters. Last year they performed in 200 North American cities between December and April. Only had a few months off, and the tour continues. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Did you ever see them in person, Sarge?
Yes, I have in Atlanta.
Did you ever play against them?
Didn't play against them. I had them come over and knock over a Coke, take some popcorn.
Throw some confetti at you instead of water.
It was a fun time, too. I remember that night, but that's a little long time ago.
3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him. Beltran's down on strikes for the second time. 3 strikeouts for Kendrick overall. 1 away here in the 6th.
Good change up there as he puts him away. A lot of movement on it. When he's able to throw that pitch, take a look at it. There's that movement I'm talking about as it goes away from him.
1 out for Sandoval, who homered his first time up opposite way. 1 of 2 runs for the Giants. It's 2-0 San Francisco. Looked like he thought he was getting the same pitch. This time it was a changeup.
Yeah, this is one of those guys, Sandoval, that just swings hard just in case. Bad ball hitter, meaning that you can throw balls and try and waste pitches. He might just be swinging at them.
Foul ball, and it's 1-2. Sandoval, as you would expect, has the highest percentage of swings in the National League. Yeah, I'm not surprised that Soriano's on that list either.
Free swingers.
Outside and low, right between the legs of Ruiz. It's 2-2. Good pitch. Back-to-back strikeouts by Kendrick, 4 on the night. And there's 2 gone here in the 6th.
Boy, just an excellent pitch to tie him up. Now pitching very aggressively in on those left-handed hitters. A little bit more in tonight than I've seen him throw in. That might be a good formula for him to be able to throw balls inside and getting strikes.
Absolutely.
Not leaving them out over the heart of the plate.
This is the kind of night that if you were asked before the game and told that Kyle Kendrick would allow 2 runs through the first 5 2/3, you'd probably take it. Particularly the way the Phillies offense has been hitting here in July. However, last night they scored only 1 run against Matt Cain, and tonight they haven't scored anything against Lincecum.
Well, they've had some opportunities, and that's what you want to do. Give yourself opportunities to be able to score. That means getting that runner over at second base.
The 1-1 to Huff. In the air to right field. It was off the end of the bat. Brown is over toward the line, puts it away, and the side is retired. Oh, nice job by Kyle Kendrick to work a 1-2-3 6th inning. We go to the bottom of the 6th, and that guy right there, Ryan Howard, he'll lead it off when we return. Southwest Airlines new Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats and no blackout dates. By AT&T, the nation's fastest mobile broadband network. And by Mazda, zoom zoom. Last of the 6th, Ryan Howard will lead it off. Another sellout here at the ballpark. In fact, this place is filled beyond capacity. Ashburn Alley's happening, as it always is. It'll continue this weekend when the Pirates are in town. So many folks are enjoying Phillies baseball over the last few years, not only here at the Yard, but also around the Delaware Valley. And also on the road.
Yep.
Ryan Howard leads it off, a grounder towards second. Jeff Keppinger flips over to first, 1 away. So Lincecum, who struggled in the 5th, gets an out on 1 pitch. You know, we go from city to city. We hear folks talk about how great this place is, how great it is to follow this team, whether it be on television or here at the Yard, or let's say next week when we go to Denver, or you know, to San Francisco, Los Angeles.
A little bit easier when your team's winning, and especially having the stars that you have on this team.
Well, and it's young and old too, Sarge. I mean, there's so many, you know, kids that are embracing this team, particularly with their success over the last few years, obviously here in the Delaware Valley, but even beyond. So many fans who are becoming fans of the Phillies later in life, like Virginia Devery from South Jersey, former councilwoman who watches every game at home because she can't get out to see the team here at the ballpark. Victorino grounds one up the first base line. Huff flips it, and he was lackadaisical on that one. And that's going to be a base hit for Victorino.
Well, that's what he gets for hustling for his efforts there. Thought Huff just threw that ball a little bit high. Victorino hustling. Take a look at it as that ball comes in. No chance for Tim to actually get the ball. And notice, though, he does the smart thing by not jumping up, keeping his eye on the bag, therefore not taking a chance on an injury.
So a base runner for the Phillies again. In fact, they've had a base runner every inning except for the second. Here's Ibanez as the Giants set up for 2. And it's 1 ball and no strikes to Ibanez. 0 for 2.
Ibanez has been swinging at him pretty good. Fouling off pitchers, fouling them off. See if he's been seeing them pretty good.
Outside, 2 balls and no strikes. And now Stewart's going out to talk to Lincecum. Bullpen action. Affeldt is the lefty. Casilla is the right-hander. Santiago Casilla.
You know, and just with Tim Lincecum being sick here the last couple of days, don't know how much longer Bochy, manager, is going to let him go on and throw. He's starting to sweat a little bit more. You see them both talking over there.
It's 2-0 Giants. The Phillies have a base runner. And it's 2-0 to Ibanez. Little out in front. Fly ball, shallow right center. Torres coming in. And there are 2 outs. Hey, seniors 55 and over, here's your chance to relive history at a unique Phillies alumni luncheon on Thursday, August 11th from 11:30 to 2:30 at Citizens Bank Park. You can hear stories from Jim Bunning, Tommy Green, Rick Wise, and Tony Taylor. Get lunch at the Diamond Club, a tour of the ballpark, photos with the World Series trophies. Call 215-463-1000 for more information. They throw behind Victorino. I wouldn't do that if I'm the catcher. When you're ahead 2-0 with 2 outs.
Well, you know, you can take chances when you're winning. You know, you never can tell, and the runner's going to slip. I'd like to see him go on and try and steal a base, however.
Yeah.
If at all possible. Well, just that little bloop in the blast, he get a hold of this, game's all tied.
I was surprised that Shane didn't go when Ibanez was up.
Well, and a lot of times too, though. I mean, you don't know exactly how their legs are feeling, but with everything being equal, you're right. You know, you want to get in scoring position, give yourself a chance to score on just that one hit.
Mentioned before that Victorino is on his own. It's his decision. Charlie will tell him not to go sometimes, but other than that, he doesn't usually say anything to him. 1-2 the count to Dominic Brown. And he lines one to center right at Andres Torres, and the side is retired. So the Phillies get a 1-out base runner, but he's left over at first. Tim Lincecum is through 6. We go to the 7th with the Phillies down 2-0. So we start at the top of the 7th. Kyle Kendrick's done a nice job tonight. He's allowed just the 2 runs on 5 hits. They retired the side order in the 6th, and he'll get a chance to begin the 7th with bullpen action behind him as Nate Schierholtz leads it off. And it's 2 balls and no strikes to Schierholtz. It's Schierholtz, Crawford, and then Stewart, then the pitcher's spot. But there's a pretty good chance that Lincecum's done anyway.
Right.
Even if his spot doesn't come up here.
That's why they're going to have the bullpen ready for a left or a right-handed hitter, because they have a right-hander and a left-hander in the bullpen. They're going to be ready for everything. Kendrick's really held up his end of the bargain here tonight.
Absolutely.
He's done a very good job going against a guy like Lincecum. A guy like Lincecum, 2 runs through 6 innings.
Well, he gives up the walk to start the 7th.
Yeah, but his guys haven't been able to score. So the game just seems like it's further apart than it is right now. It's only 2-0.
Yep.
And we'll prove that to you, because here's a Verizon Wireless game summary. You see single runs there. Pablo Sandoval has a home run, his 10th of the year. Lincecum could be finished. He's thrown close to 100 pitches, or right around 100, through 6 innings. Phillies 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position. Great opportunity in the first inning with a runner at third and only 1 out, not able to get it done.
Well, let's see if Kendrick can get Crawford to ground 1 to short again. He's done it twice tonight. Once a fielder's choice, once a 6-3 putout.
Kendrick is also close to 100 pitches now at 96. It's starting to rain.
Second time tonight that it's rained.
This is real rain, though. This is umbrella type rain. They're starting to shoot up all over the place.
Think some folks are going to put some ponchos on?
Oh, yeah. Not much wind right now there, so it's not as exciting to watch. Or entertaining, maybe.
A strike, and it's 1-1. That gentleman put his poncho on without even blinking earlier. So until he does it, it's not poncho time.
Right.
Because he looked like a seasoned vet. Foul ball, so it's 1-2. Kendrick threw that fastball at 90. Here we go.
There we go. See, without the wind, though, it's just not as exciting to watch.
I don't know. She looks still like she's going to put it in the right hand.
Well, I'll take it back.
Yeah.
It is exciting. The wind really makes it fun.
There goes the runner. Pitch looped toward the left side. Rollins on the run. He got there. And that is no look throw to first. Not in time. Jimmy had to find it first. He found it and then got to the spot. That's a heck of a play.
It sure was. And he knew the runner was going on that play, that he was trying to steal, or whether they were playing hit and run or not. So he knew he had a base runner between first and second. Figured, I'm going to get it over in the area. I don't know where he is, but maybe I'll get him. And that's all he did. As you said, Tom, blind throw without looking. You know, he has a real good idea where first base is after all these years. And, you know, you never know. Maybe the guy's still caught. Get it over there and get a double play.
Maybe
he
the
knew
guy
he was on his way to
something.
him. Yeah, exactly.
Chris Stewart's the hitter with a runner at first. He's 0 for 2. He's grounded out to Martinez twice. Kendrick trying to get through this 7th inning and keep giving his offense a chance to come alive. They've only scored 1 run in the last 15 innings, and it was an unearned run. Aaron Rowan's out on deck for the Giants.
Yeah, they have a really good bullpen, and they're going to go to it.
Runner goes, and Stewart slaps it into right. Schierholtz slid at second, but got up and is over to third.
Yeah, they did a real good job deking Schierholtz then. You know, I don't know whether they were playing hit and run or whether that was a straight steal. It almost looked like hit and run on an 0-1 count, which you don't see that often. Because the hitter looked like he was trying to protect the runner.
All right, Wheels, it's poncho time. If you haven't put yours on, you could put it on now. And this is how it's done.
You said textbook, huh? That's methodical.
He wants to splash of something before he puts the rest of it on. See, I'd put it on in case he spilled it.
Well, he's just making sure that he's got his arms through so he can get that baby when he's finished.
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, the hood might look awkward right now, but that's the way to do it. So a quick visit on the mound as Rowan is the batter. He'll pinch hit for Lincecum. Phillies will set up to try to turn 2 and get out of the inning. The outfield is shortened up. And a fake to third, a look over to first. It's pretty good for Aaron Rowan. 3 home runs this year as a pitch hitter.
Yeah, he hit one against Milwaukee last weekend and one here the other night.
Grounded to third. Oh, Martinez bobbles. He has one play and he throws it off the glove of Ryan Howard. Rowan's going to get to second, I believe. The runner's coming home. The throw to the plate by Howard. Safe at the plate.
Just really sloppy play there. Great base running by the Giants. You can see why they do the things they do in games, because they know they don't hit a whole lot. They don't have much power, but they are running the bases. What Martinez has to do on that play is come home. Backhanded and come home, because it's not a double play ball, and he winds up getting nobody after he panicked a little bit here. See this ball right here, you backhand it and you come home with it. Look where the guy is right here. So that's why you're going to come home with the ball. But now he decides to go to first base to get an out, throws it away. Ryan Howard can't handle it. It's just not good play.
Yeah, and Rowan slowed Howard, but you know there was a right to the base path or a right to advance for Aaron Rowan. Kyle Kendrick is going to be done for the night as he's allowed 2 runs in this inning. It's 4-0 San Francisco. So we've got a pitching change here at Citizens Bank Park. Charlie Manuel will rub up the baseball for the new pitcher. Looks like it's going to be Juan Perez. This is an AT&T call to the bullpen with the Giants on top 4-0. On a misplay by Michael Martinez. His throw after a bobble eluded Ryan Howard. Howard ran into Aaron Rowan and then could not get Chris Stewart, scoring all the way from first. So For the first time in 11 days, Juan Perez is in a ball game. Now, the last time he sat out, it was 2 weeks. He came on and struck out the side. He threw 9 pitches in that outing. And we'll see what he does here as Torres bats with Rowand over at second.
Like the way their 2 catchers have run the bases the last 2 nights. Whiteside last night, and Stewart scoring all the way from first on that play. Really was running well. That's a long way from Benji Molina.
Kyle Kendrick did not do badly tonight. It's unfortunate.
No, he came out and walked the leadoff man to get it all started.
Utley calls Howard off and makes the catch. 2 outs.
But no, we'd said that as the inning began, that he had held up his end of the bargain tonight against a pitcher like Tim Lincecum, that's for sure.
These lucky fans are tonight's Citizens 7. They will each receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank with the most 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. To find a branch near you, visit citizensbank.com. Charlie Manuel's heading out to the mound. He's already made the signal to the pen, so it'll be another pitching change for the Phillies. Brad Lidge is coming in. Back-to-back ball games now for Lidge, as he will enter the game with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position. So another pitching change for the Phillies. They trail at 4-0. As we will be back in a minute. They've scored a couple runs in this inning. Brad Lidge is the new pitcher for the Phillies, so Lidge is working in back-to-back ball games for the Phils. His 3rd game overall, an inning and a third so far, a walk and 2 strikeouts. His slider has been very good.
Yeah, they don't know what his role is right now, and they're just trying to work him into games. And this is another step, Tom, as you say, back-to-back games.
Facing Jeff Keppinger, who's 0 for 3 tonight, with Rowand over at second. And a number foul. It's no balls and 1 strike. Lidge was talking the other day about really just wanting to contribute to what has been a very good bullpen this year for the Phillies.
Yeah, and he faced Keppinger last night and walked him.
But he fell behind to him too. Right. Now he's ahead.
Exactly, got ahead tonight.
Slider in there for strike 2. It's 0-2. Talking to Brad the other day, I asked him from a distance, and he was around the team a lot over the last few months. I said, from a distance, have you been impressed with what the bullpen has done, particularly the 3 different closers the team has had? 4 counting him.
Yeah.
And he said, yeah, he said, because it's not easy to finish games off. Fastball upstairs, 1-2.
Now you see he's still having trouble with his fastball location. Carlos set up way outside there to try and throw a waste fastball, and he threw it up and over the middle of the plate. And that's one thing he has to try and do, is get command of that fastball.
The slider, though, has been good. That one, a diving play by Martinez to his feet, throws him out. He made a good throw that time, and the side is retired. The Giants do score 2 runs in the inning. They leave one in scoring position. It's time to stretch here in Philadelphia. Tim Lincecum won the first 6 innings tonight for the Giants, and his delivery is different.
Well, look at that stride. That's just unbelievable for his height, the way he strides out there. We talked about it earlier, that he's 129%. They have that in the book. Usually it's around 77 to 87% of your height. Tim Lincecum tonight, he's had a little command problems this year, but tonight he really had a very good changeup and got a lot of strikeouts on changeup. That was a changeup. There's another one. This one to Chase Utley was a fastball. There's another changeup, and that's the final line on him. 101 pitches with 4 walks and 6 strikeouts. He did bend but didn't break.
So he'll give way to Ramon Ramirez, who's been very good for the Giants this year, as a lot of the pitchers have been out of their bullpen. 2-1 with a 2.20 earned run average. He'll face Ruiz and then John Mayberry, who's in the on-deck circle. Ramirez imploded here during the regular season when he was a member of the Boston Red Sox. That was last year. The Giants picked him up, and he was good for them last year and helped them to the postseason and eventually to the World Series.
He came in that game on a Sunday afternoon when Tim Wakefield was unhittable, just to mop up, and the Phillies hit him all over the place. But they were way behind in that game.
Ruiz lines one toward left center field. Scherholtz on the run. He can't get there. It's a one-hop over his glove. And Carlos pulls into second with a leadoff double.
Trying to get something started here. Ramirez throws a breaking ball there, it looked like, and Carlos hammered it into left center field. Scherholtz made a heck of a run at that and almost got there. And safe at second base, it's Carlos Ruiz, safe and secure, New York Life.
So nobody out, a runner in scoring position. Phillies had a leadoff double back in the first against Lincecum, did not score. And now they have a leadoff double here in the 7th. John Mayberry will pinch hit. So Brad Lidge works a third of an inning. And Mayberry takes low 1-0. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, Pirates have taken a 3-1 lead over the Braves. Andrew McCutchen, not Daniel, the pitcher.
Yeah.
Andrew, a double and an RBI, 2 hits overall. They had a 47-minute rain delay down in Atlanta.
And it looks like Lowe State came back out to pitch too, because they still have 32 up on the board out there.
1 ball, no strikes, the count to Mayberry. And he lifts it into foul territory. Huff on the run. He might get there. Oh, he got to the area, but then gave up on it. I think he thought the railing was closer than it was.
Yep. So he's got a big time break there, because that's an out. Wasn't hit real high, so I don't know how many times he had a chance to take a peek. Right there, he doesn't look again. He doesn't know where he is. So he pulls up way short. Maybe he thought he was closer to that other, the other railing, the one that's a little bit closer to the field. Didn't realize he had gotten past it. Normally, you know, you get the starter out of a game, you're really feeling good about it. A good starter after 6 innings. But these guys, the Giants, think this is the strength of their ball club right now. The late innings with their pen. See if the Phillies can get some runs off them.
1 ball, 2 strikes, the count to Mayberry, with Rollins on deck. Swing and a miss, and he's down on strikes. Well, he threw him a slider. It's time now for the Dodge Stuff the Fans trivia quiz answer wheels. I'll give you the question again. Name the player the Giants signed to a AAA contract to replace the called up Buster Posey on May 29, 2010.
A little time to think about it. I think that was right around the time that the Tampa Bay Rays released Pat Burrell.
You do, huh?
And they then went to AAA, and then he came up to the Giants and helped them. That's my guess.
Your guess would be correct.
Love that sound.
Log back out to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. Thanks for playing Dodge Stump the Fans.
Didn't know it at the time, I admit. But, you know, you have a long time to think about it. And put 2 and 2 and even get 4 once in a while.
Rollins takes low. There was a report last night. We were leaving the ballpark. Somebody said the Giants have released Pat Burrell to make room for Carlos Beltran.
There's a lot of misinformation out there nowadays.
Turns out they have not released Pat Burrell. He is still a member of the Giants.
I used to think that once in a while somebody throws something against the wall and see if it sticks. Now they use both hands.
Well, they did let go of Emmanuel Burris, a much smaller player than Pat Burrell, with a longer first name and a different spelling last name.
Yeah, the philosophy nowadays seems to be just throw it out there. If you get it right, you're a hero. If you don't, who cares?
2-0 the count to Rollins. Outside, 3-0.
Trying to get something started here. The Giants have done a really good job of producing some runs here tonight. And the Phillies have a long way to go in this game.
Rollins takes on the outside corner, but he'll take that one. It's 3-1.
Rain basically has stopped, so the ponchos can be put away for efforts later if they need them.
Rollins pops it to left center field. Scherholtz comes in, and there are 2 outs. So 2 away here in the 7th. And Michael Martinez will bat with Ruiz over at second. Phillies are now 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position tonight.
Yeah, you mentioned Tom, a leadoff double the first thing. At that time you're into the get him over, get him in. Right now you're not. And that Mayberry in that at bat was not into just hitting the ball the right side and getting a run in necessarily. He was trying to do more with it. Fortunately struck out.
There you see the runners in scoring position numbers for both teams. Ground ball toward first, a foul ball. It's 0-2 to Martinez. Saw Michael Stutz warming up in the bullpen for the Phillies. It looks like he'll come in to pitch the top of the 8th. And it remains 1-2 Oh, they had it. Whoop. Martinez fights off an inside fastball. It remains 1-2. Ramirez last year for the Red Sox pitched in 44 games. They thought they had found something back in 2009 when he was 7-4 with a 2.84 ERA in 70 games. Well, he didn't have the same kind of success to start 2010, but he certainly did when he came over to the Giants. His earned run average was under 1. Topper right back to the hill, off the glove of Ramirez, and everybody will be safe.
Well, that was an easy play. They probably give him an error on that.
E1 is what they call it.
Yeah, he had that timed and everything. He just doesn't catch it. And Bruce Bochy's going to go to left-hander.
So that's going to be it for Ramon Ramirez. They'll go to Jeremy Affeldt as Bochy heads out to the mound. So Affeldt has been loosening up the last couple of innings. He'll be the new pitcher for the Giants with Chase Utley due up and Ryan Howard behind him. We've got a pitching change here in the bottom of the 7th. The Phillies have 2 runners on. Help support the Fans Feeding Families initiative in raising money. Each year, 900,000 folks in the Delaware Valley are at risk of hunger. Purchase a limited edition Fans Feeding Families pin on sale now for $5 at the Majestic Clubhouse store or at the newsstands here at the ballpark or by going to Phillies.com. Actually, you can go to Phillies.com/feeding-families for more information on the Fans Feeding Families program. Jeremy Affeldt is the new pitcher for the Giants. 1-2 with 3.05 earned run average. This is his 3rd season with San Francisco.
This guy really struggled for them last year and then picked it up postseason. And he was a pivotal pitcher in that Game 6 here when Sanchez was in so much trouble early, and then Affeldt came on in a big spot early in that game and calmed things down.
He pitched in 3 games against the Phillies in the postseason.
And he was good, right?
2 2/3. He allowed just the 1 run, but without a hit. He walked a batter, struck out 4.
Yep, there are the strikeouts.
And Chase Utley takes outside and low. It's 1-0.
Remember that night how Sanchez was just really struggling. You know, he had the words with Utley in that game, and then Affeldt came out of the bullpen while all that stuff was going on out in the field, and he calmed it down.
Down and away, 2 balls and no strikes. There's an interesting note in the Giants media guide about Affeldt. Back in 09, he was 2-2 with a 1.73 earned run average in 74 games. That's pretty good, right? He received a 10th place vote in the MVP balloting. Utley the opposite way. That's a base hit. Ruiz is going to score. Martinez is going to get to third at least, and he'll be held there. And Utley pulls into second on RBI double, and the Phillies are on the board here in the bottom of the 7th.
Chase has really had a frustrating night, so that has to feel good at that point. After the first inning and then striking out on that changeup in the dirt, got a pitch away from him and did a good job hitting it hard down the left field line. There it is, a fastball, kind of inside out at it, actually. This is a real good job here by Shearholz to watch what he does. Well, Ruiz scores. Now, Juan Samuel's going to take a chance if that ball would get away from him, but he went into the corner there and did a really good job of trapping that ball against the wall and making Samuel stop Martinez.
So the tying run is at the plate with 2 in scoring position for Ryan Howard. A swing and a miss. It's 0-1. Affeldt threw that one at 95.
Yeah, they have the 2 left-handers. You saw Lopez last night. This guy throws a lot harder. Maybe not as good a breaking ball, but a harder fastball, and he normally throws sinkers.
Howard hitless at 3 at bats.
Well, you get a base hit right now, you got a game. Outfielders are really deep. 2 runs will score.
Good job by Howard to hold on that one. That's not an easy pitch to let go by.
No, and Affeld's in this game too, because even though Victorino come up right-handed, well, now Righetti goes to the phone. But you have left-handed hitters after him, after Victorino.
2 balls, 1 strike to count. A breaking ball. Howard backed away. It dropped in for strike 2.
You talk about a knee bender. That was a good one. Behind in the count, think maybe you'll get a fastball, and you get a locker. Ooh. This breaking ball is a curveball, looks like.
Howard fouls off the 2-2 fastball.
It looked like he moved up on the plate a little bit there to try and get that breaking ball better, and they saw that and threw fastball in and tried to jam him.
Runners in scoring position. There are 2. Martinez at third, Utley at second. Fireworks night here at the ballpark, and the Phillies are looking for some early fireworks with Howard up.
Trying to protect and swinging a strike here on those breaking balls and not get locked on a fastball.
Time is called. Got it in on the hands. Nice play by Affeldt. He'll run halfway to first, and the side is retired. So the Phillies do get a run. It's an unearned run that scores here in the 7th. We go to the 8th. The Giants lead it by 3. Sundays Baseball is brought to you by Thomas Jefferson University Hospitals. Call 1-800-JEFF now. By Anheuser-Busch, Smooth Busch Beer, and easy drinking Busch Light. By Citizens Bank, we're for homes. Talk to us today about how we can help guide you to the loan that's right for you. And by Jeep Brand, we don't just make SUVs, we make history. Oh, Basket Lakes has been entertaining the crowd today from the Harlem Globetrotters. Wills, you think you do that?
No, when I saw those guys play a few times at convention, the old convention hall, Tom, the Warriors and 76ers were there. Meadowlark Lemon was with him, and Red Klotz
and Curly Neal
was with the Washington Generals.
Oh, yeah.
And the poor Washington Generals could never win.
They just never win.
But that was a great act, and I'm sure it remains a great act.
Yeah,
boy, they were good.
The cast of characters have changed from Meadowlark Lemon, Curly Neal, Sweet Lou Dunbar, Geese Osby.
Yeah.
As Beltran pulls it foul, it's 0-2.
But the Washington Generals were the foils.
Well, they were.
And they had a guy named Red Klotz, little guy that would shoot set shots, and he was a perfect foil for Meadowlark and the guys.
Michael Stutz, the new pitcher for the Phillies, 41st ball game. Beltran skies one. Not deep, certainly playable. Victorino and Dominic Brown are in. It's Dominic Brown who puts it away. One out.
They're going to stay with Affelt, and they didn't have anybody up last inning. You know, Victorino will lead off, and then the Phillies go left after that. And on the bench are Valdez and Francisco if they want to make a move.
Pablo Sandoval has a home run tonight. He's 1 for 3, 2 for 10 in the series. How about the Giants were the last team in the National League in baseball to have somebody hit their 10th home run?
Yep.
And it came here on July 28th.
Well, they don't worry about homers, that's for sure. They just keep winning one-run games with their bullpen. And in that ballpark they play in San Francisco, it is absolutely gorgeous. But it's hard to hit homers there.
Utley waits on it, has time, 2 outs. Now the Phillies are proud to introduce Phillies Fitness, a healthy lifestyles program for children presented by NovaCare Rehabilitation. Children K through high school learn the importance of being active through exercise and making smart food choices. The program is open to summer camps and gym teachers during the school year. For more information, email FanDev, that's DEV, at Phillies.com. Aubrey Huff, sounded like he may have broken his bat, fouls one down the right field line. Six pitches, 6 strikes for Michael Stutz.
Yeah, that's a great way to come out of the bullpen.
Huff is 1 for 2 in this game. Doubled and scored in the 4th. Fly ball, left field, playable for Ibanez, who waits, and it's a 1-2-3 8th inning for Michael Stutz. Good job by Stutz. He'll take this game into the bottom of the 8th, where the Phillies trail it 4-1. This reports direct from Eagles training camp in Lehigh. Get all the news Philly fans need to know on Sports Night, presented by Toyota. That's after the ball game, only on Comcast Sportsnet. Bottom of the 8th inning, Giants make a defensive change. Brandon Belt, former pitcher at the University of Texas, takes over at first for Aubrey Huff. Jeremy Affeldt still in the game with Sergio Romo warming up for the Giants. Victorino, Ibanez, Dominic Brown due up. And a strike to Victorino. Victorino reached on an infield single his first time up on a ball misplayed by Aubrey Huff. Walked in the 4th, grounded out in the 2nd. Hits one in the air to right here in the 8th. Beltran makes the catch, 1 away. Phillies commit to this ball game with 64 wins. They'll still have the best record in baseball. I should say 65 wins. Best record in baseball. Even if they wind up losing this game, because the Red Sox have lost tonight as Romo continues to throw in the pen. But the Giants, well, they have 60 wins. Even with their lack of offense, you know, they are playing some good baseball right now. The Diamondbacks are right on their heels, and Bruce Bochy knows it. But the Diamondbacks lost tonight to the Padres 4-3. Swinging butt, Affeldt off the hill, 2 outs.
They play great at home. Do the Padres or do the Giants, and the Phillies are going to be out there for 4 games against the Giants, and they're going to have their hands full out there because they're struggling here against them.
Phillies 38-17 have the best record of the National League at home. Second, the Brewers 35-14. Then the Giants at 32-18. See the splits between the Giants. They've scored way more runs on the road, as you would imagine, and they haven't pitched as well compared to home. They've utilized that ballpark as as Ben Francisco is going to pitch it for Dominic Brown. Jeremy Affeldt will be lifted from this ball game, so Sergio Romo will come on for San Francisco with 2 outs here in the 8th. So Romo has been a setup guy for Brian Wilson, is coming on here at the bottom of the 8th to face Ben Francisco. He's down 4-1. The Giants have made a pitching change. They brought in Sergio Romo to take over for Jeremy Affeldt. Romo this year, 47 games, a 3-1 record, a 1.85 earned run average, and he's on to face Ben Francisco, who was already introduced as a pinch hitter. Romo's been very good against right-handers because he possesses a very good slider. So he's on with the Giants up by 3. Francisco batting for Dominic Brown. He's been a good pitch hitter. Takes a strike. It's 0-1.
It looks like the Ponchos are back. They are. It's really started to rain again, and pretty hard.
Remember, after the game, fireworks brought to you by Xfinity. Fireworks tonight and tomorrow, Wills.
Yep.
Towering fly ball deep down the left field line. Schierholtz is in foul territory and he makes the catch awkwardly, but he still put it away. And the Phillies are retired here in the 8th. They go down in order. It's on to the 9th with the Phils trailing it 4-1. Games hit 400 and 5 runs batted in, 6 runs scored. And Austin Hyatt, the 25-year-old, 9-5 overall this year, 2-0 this past week with 16 strikeouts in 13 innings of work. So congratulations to both those guys for helping the Threshers and the R-Phils during the course of the week. David Herndon will take over here in the top of the 9th. Michael Stutes pitched a scoreless 8th. And Herndon now try to keep this at a 3-run game. Will face Nate Schierholtz, Brandon Crawford, and Chris Stewart, bottom of the order.
You said, Tom, a 3-run game, so that means it's a save situation, and the beard is up.
The beard is up. Those balloons?
Looks like it.
Schierholtz takes a strike. It's 0-1. Kyle Kendrick started the ball game for the Phillies. He went 6 1/3, allowed 3 earned runs. In reality, his fate could have been better. Phillies had a misplay behind him in his last inning of work that led to 2 additional runs.
He did a good job here tonight.
Yep.
I'm sure he'd be the first to say that he was at fault too, because in the 7th inning he walked the leadoff man, and then the sloppy play occurred after that. But you know, to that point, he had held the game to 2-0 against Lincecum and given the Phillies a good shot, score some runs, maybe have a lead. They weren't able to score.
2-2 the count. Lincecum, meanwhile, went 6 innings, struck out 6, walked 4, but the Phillies couldn't capitalize. So now it's in the 9th. The Phillies down by 3 with one last chance. And Herndon gets Schierholtz to foul that one off. It remains 2-2.
Phillies haven't lost a series in a long time, haven't lost 2 in a row in a long time, and that's all on the line right now.
Charlie was talking about the 2 in a row, how impressive that is. It's been 54 days since the Phillies lost 2 in a row.
Ooh. Yeah, that's remarkable.
June 3rd and 4th. There you go, at Pittsburgh. At home, it's been since the 18th and 19th of April.
Yeah, that's how consistent they've been. And when they lost 2 in a row there, June 3 and 4, they actually lost 4 in a row because they had lost 2 before that.
Look out.
They had lost 2 at Pittsburgh. They hadn't lost 4 in a row, but they had lost 2 out of 3 in Pittsburgh, and then went into Washington and lost a couple.
Phillies have won 10 consecutive series coming into this one against the Giants.
What it was they lost 2 in a row at Washington at the end of that series, and then lost the first 2 in Pittsburgh. Lost 4 in a row. Won the last game in Pittsburgh.
Line drive caught by a diving Ryan Howard over at first. 1 away here at the top of the ninth.
Nice play by Ryan. That ball hit right on the screws there by Shearholtz. Line drive, and he just times it right there as he goes to his right and makes the play. 1 out.
Because the Phillies haven't lost consecutive games here at home, that's why their record is so good at Citizens Bank Park. I mean, it's certainly something they can bask in the glow of, because it really helps, boy.
We're looking at 2 teams right now that have tremendous home records, the Giants and the Phillies.
Crawford 0 for 3. Utley charges, has to hurry, scoops it up, flips underhand just in time. Two gone. Chris Stewart will be the batter. Mike Fontenot's come out in the on-deck circle to pinch hit, with Brian Wilson warming up in the bullpen for the Giants.
Yeah, unless they were to take this to 4 runs, Wilson's going to come in and try and pick up a save.
One ball and 1 strike to count. Ground ball to shortstop. Jimmy Rollins has it. Strong throw. Sign is retired. 1, 2, 3 go the Giants. Phillies bullpen has done its job tonight. Now Brian Wilson will come on to pitch the bottom of the ninth. The Phils with one last chance to win the series. Long, both the beard and the Giants hat, the beard and the Phillies cap. Brian Wilson in his 50th ball game, 6-2 with 2.77 earned run average. He's the league leader in saves with 32. He picked up number 32 in last night's game, and he's on to pitch the ninth here. He'll face Ruiz, then Ross Glode, and then the top of the order. Well, since the All-Star break, the Giants bullpen has been the best in baseball, and then some. A 0.49 earned run average in 13 games, 6 saves and 6 opportunities. And the opposition hasn't, well, they haven't worked out a lot of walks, and they certainly haven't worked out a lot of hits.
Wow.
Ruiz is 1 for 2 with a walk. And he takes a strike, and it's 0-1.
Wilson is a strike for Aaron, just trying to get a base runner or two here and see if he can put a little pressure on them. Still raining lightly now. He has a real good cutter. He just came out and threw 294s to get ahead 0-2.
And he throws 3 pitches, and Ruiz is down on strikes. 1 away here in the ninth.
All fastballs. This one's 95 and way out of the strike zone that he chases.
Ross Cloto pitch hit for the Phillies with 1 out here in the ninth. Phillies will see the Giants again next week on this next road trip. They'll see them for 4 games out in San Francisco. Glode's numbers as a pinch hitter this year: 4 pitches, 4 strikes.
He hasn't even thrown his cutter yet.
Oh, there was the cutter.
Yeah, now he has.
I'll tell you, if the Giants, the Phillies, the Braves make it to the postseason, there's going to be some pitching. And that's an understatement.
Won't be a lot of runs.
The 0-2 pitch coming to Glode. In the air to right field. Going back on it is Beltran to the warning track, off the top of the wall. Glode hustling to second, and he's there standing. A 1-out double. Ross Glode looking for his first home run as a pinch hitter this year. First home run overall. Came about 2 feet shy of it.
Yeah, he looked like he got a cutter down and then dropped the head on it. Let's see if that's what it was. Yeah, cut fastball right in that happy zone. He tried to get it to the back foot and never got there, and it hits right on the fence there. As you said, a couple feet from a home run, Tom. A good look at, maybe even just a foot. You see that angle.
Well, the Phillies have something now here in the ninth with Glode at second. Rollins the batter. It's 0-1.
Another base runner to get the tying run up.
Phillies have used everybody except for Schneider and Valdez. I say everybody. They've used their three of their 5 pinch hitters. 0-2 now to Rollins.
8 straight strikes.
You think about the 3 pitching staffs that we talked about: the Giants, the Braves, and the Phillies. Now you might say, well, all 3 of these teams were in the postseason last year, but Kane's a year older, Bumgarner's a year older, Kimbrel's a year older, Venters is a year older, and the Phillies have Cliff Lee to be part of their rotation. And they also have these youngsters like Stutz and Bastardo,
and their bullpen's held up, to say the least.
1-2 the count to Rollins with Martinez on deck. A little high with that pitch, and it's 2-2. Rollins lifts it toward right center. Beltran signals to Torres that he's got it. Glode goes back to tag, and he'll get to third with 2 outs. Well, here you go with these 3 teams: Giants, Phillies, and Braves. I guess you could throw the Pirates in there. Obviously, they still have a chance as they're within reach in the Central. I mean, that's some pitching.
Yep. Padres the only one that can't compete because they really don't score enough runs for them.
Martinez takes outside. I mean, seriously, Wills, you think about it. The Pirates are the 4th team.
Sure. They could be the Central, the Giants could be the West, and the Phillies and Braves wild card or East.
Even if the Brewers make it with their staff, with Greinke and Markham's healthy, Gallardo,
they can give you problems for that. They've added K-Rod at the end of their bullpen now.
2-0 the count to Martinez.
Get on base. Just give it a shot to get that tying run out there. Take a couple.
You got Utley and Howard waiting.
Double take here.
Think so? I don't know.
Would be for me. What's that matter? Boy, that was close.
Oh, there's the double take. It looked like he was taken.
Yeah. You know, good job. And a good job by Wilson to come back for strike one, strike two. Both of them played the game the right way.
3-2 the count to Martinez with a runner at third. He gets on. The tying run comes up here in the ninth. The payoff pitch. Fouls it away. Got him. Fastball down and in. Martinez is down on strikes, and for the first time in 54 days, the Phillies have lost back-to-back games as Brian Wilson closes the door here in the ninth for the second time in this series, and the Giants take 2 of 3 from the Phillies. Tonight, the final score: San Francisco 4, the Phillies 1. And Tim Lincecum, who was battling a stomach virus the last couple of days, pitched here tonight, and he is our Chevrolet player of the game.
He pitched 6 1/3 innings tonight, or 6 innings, and used his changeup very effectively tonight for strikeouts. He did have 4 walks, but 6 strikeouts, and a lot of them right there, as you see, on that changeup. So Tim Lincecum, a really solid 6 innings.
Well, Lincecum was out there congratulating his team. He watched the final out, recorded, and the Giants take the series 2-1.